Basically, if you're doing more than just what I did, like a bigger loaf, you can open the oven like too soon because it makes your cake collapse. So make sure that you at least like probably like 60 or 70% through your bake before you open it. If you have to like rotate or things like that. If your oven is fine and it bakes evenly, I wouldn't even rotate my cake because it can sink and it's really annoying when it happens. But it tends to be when you open it and the cake hasn't set yet, then it collapses because of the change in temperature. So whenever you're opening your oven will drop with at least 10 to 20 degrees, and that's what makes your cake sink. So that is slightly annoying, I'm sorry, but it still tastes good. Right, so your cake skewer, once your cake is baked through, it needs to come out clean, so you don't want any cake batter on it at all. If you forget to do your glaze and you aren't ready or you want to glaze your cakes later, then you do need to poke your cakes everywhere with a little skewer for the syrup to sink down. So just take your cake skewer and you like dot it. But if your cakes are still fairly warm, it will soak into your cake. So over here on the side, I got my glaze. This is my icing, sugar, and elderflower cordial. Yeah, questions?
So Sue says, I haven't opened it. I think I put too much baking powder in it.
Did you not measure it, Sue?
And then Jel Wong says it didn't need 45 minutes. It was brown on the top and cooked inside in 35.
Perfect. So yeah, again, all our ovens are going to be different. If you find that your cake takes on too much color, but you know that it's not baked through yet, you can cover it with tin foil. And then keep baking it, because that way it's not going to take on more color. When it comes to measuring, a teaspoon is an actual measurement. This is a teaspoon measurement. And when you do your baking powder, I'm looking at you, Sue, you dig it into your baking powder and you level it out, and then you use it. So don't like take big scoops of things, make sure they're all nice and level.
She used a spoon.
Next time, you'll use a real measurement. Right, so we're just gonna slather this icing on top of your cakes and you'll see that it soaks into the cake.
Do you want me to come over?
Yeah. And also make sure you keep your cakes in the tin when you're doing this.
Didn't level it, Sue said. Use a spoon, didn't level it.
Oh. Remember in the beginning when I said if you're using self-raising flour, leave out the baking powder, because otherwise you have too much raising agent. So this is what happens with too much raising agent. It like puffs up and it collapses.
Someone's asking, do I have to add water to the icing and cordial?
If it's too thick, you can add either water or a little bit of lemon juice.
Perfect.
So you see how I'm brushing it on whilst it's still in the tin. It's trying to limit the amount of cleaning I'm going to do afterwards. But make sure you get a good amount of icing on, and you will see that it goes into the top of your cake. And then you might have a little bit of icing left, which is fine. So sometimes you'll have a lemon drizzle cake or an elderflower drizzle cake. You'll have the syrup, which is the one we're putting on now. Then once the cake has cooled down, you can add another glaze to it, which is again just icing, sugar, and either cordial juice or lemon juice or just water that can go on the cake. This second glaze you can only add to your cake when your cake has cooled down completely. So it'll be like in an hour's time. Don't try and like whack it on before that, because it's going to melt. So if you want to do a second glaze, whatever you have left here, you just put some more icing sugar into this until it's quite a thick consistency. Leave it to the side, and once they cool down in an hour's time, you'll get the glaze on them. I'll probably do that tonight once my kids are in bed, and I can post a picture or a highlight or story or whatever it is, so you can see how I'm finishing off my cake. Right, so I have my glaze on now, it looks nice, and now, whoop, I can just lift out my little cakes. If you're thinking, they're not coming out, Maria, do not despair. Don't just pull it out. Grab a little knife, offset spatula, and just run around the side. Especially if you like don't take it out straight away. That icing that we just put on is like gonna act a bit like glue, and it will like stick to the sides. So just like loosen it up a bit. Take your time, we're in no hurry here. and then just pop them to the side. Right, so here are our lemon drizzle elderflower cakes. Let them cool down a bit before you cut into them, but they should be nice and delicious. And you can see how the icing is going into the cake, keeping it nice and moist. This cake will be good for at least 3 days. Please tag me in your photos. I think you have to put them on stories or something like that, and I can reshare them. Use the hashtag bakeathomewithmaria so I can see what you've been making. I hope you enjoyed this session. Next Sunday we are going to do bread. Either if you're going to stick to the recipe that I supply you, the sourdough one, I'll do a yeasted option as well. And then maybe the following week, so in 2 weeks time, if we're still in lockdown, which is highly likely, you can give some suggestions to what you want to bake and we can do that. Questions?
Amelia has asked, can it be frozen?
Yes, most definitely. Let it cool down completely. Of course, double cling film it. Write a little label on it, what it is, and when you baked it, and put it in your freezer. Definitely freeze it. But don't put the second glaze on, huh? So just this glaze, don't put your second glaze on. Sugar doesn't love the freezer. It melts. Any other questions?
So some people are just joining.
Some people, ooh. So for those
So a lot of people just joined. Jisha, Miriam, Bruno, and Claudia.
All right, so for those of you who just joined, I'm going to turn off my timer here. For those of you who just joined, when your cake is in the tin, this will be a little recap for you, especially for you. Cake is in the tin, cake skewer, came out clean, it's 30 minutes in my oven at 160 degrees. Glaze over here, this is my elderflower cordial and icing sugar mixed together. Just slather on, good amount of icing on, because this sugar glaze is going to go into your cake and keep it nice and moist. Once you have glazed your cake, grab a little offset spatula, run it around the sides so it comes out nice and clean. Whoop, lift it up and let it cool down. Let it cool down completely before you get the next icing on. The next icing is just whatever leftover icing you have mixed up with more icing sugar to make it thicker. And then you can glaze that on. But that should be in 1 hour's time, not before that, because it's going to melt. Was that a good recap? Did that make sense?
That made sense to me.
Well, it makes sense to Masha. It better make sense for everyone then.
And everyone's saying, a lot of people are saying thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining, guys.
And Kissy said, looks delicious.
Oh,
So,
good. Oh, well, enjoy your cake. Send me pictures. I love to see them. And I'll see you on Sunday for sourdough baking, hopefully. Otherwise, keep the suggestions coming for 2 weeks' time where we'll be back. Maybe something with chocolate. Maybe Esther's going to make an appearance. We don't know. But let me know what you want to see and we can make that happen. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.